precise. And now we shall hear from author Dr. Stanley Aruyaru. If you're around, Dr. Aruyaru. Online? Yes, Dr. Aruyaru is to speak to us online. Thank you. Welcome, Doctor.
In an ideal world, and the ideal does not exist, we create the real world out of that envisioned ideal. My Vice Chancellor, Deputy Vice Chancellors, Principals and Deans, Victoria Pediatrics authors, teaching and teaching staff of JKUAT, students, invited guests, all protocol observed, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. 2 months back, as I walked out of my publisher's office, I ran into Dr. Mburugu and Dr. Simba. And with them, they had 2 junior colleagues. They were coming in for a word with the publisher with their raw manuscript. 2 months down the line, Dr. Mburugu, Dr. Simba, and 9 other colleagues have burnt the midnight oil to give us this classic that we launch today, Victoria Paediatrics Casebook. Graduate students, and I know he still remembers, that every time a question was posed during the clinical years, before answering, one had to use these words to sound politically correct. In the ideal setting, then we would move on. And sometimes we would rattle and justify why an X-ray is important instead of an MRI based on our background and our setup. Sometimes justify why a basic laboratory is important as opposed to a fancy immunohistochemical staining, for example. And I know today, I can see my teachers in Dr. Marete, I can see my colleagues and doctors here. That chorus of in an ideal setting reverberates across corridors of wards of hospitals across our republic. But it is not a good chorus because it creates a dichotomy and a binary caste system in our medical practice, where there are patients who should be treated by the book in the ideal world. Then there are those, today, Dr. Mburugu, together Victoria, that leap between the ideal and the real. Because the ideal does not exist. We have to make a real world out of that ideal world. Congratulations again to all the others. The other thing that the 2 colleagues have done is exemplify the concept and 9 colleagues as co-authors, Dr. Mburugu and Dr. Simba, have given us an example of the importance of mentorship. And they have given these 9 colleagues exemplary head start in their professional careers. John Maxwell, a leadership guru, tells us that a head start is the greatest gift any leader can have. And that is what has been gifted to these 9 colleagues. And so to Doctors Musyoka, Muriuki, Machoka, wainaina, Orori, Osoro, and Moseti, take this rare head start and use it as a competitive advantage among your peers. Use it wisely, use it widely, use it early, because as the trading slang on our street has it, have is hard. Ladies and gentlemen, in a 2011 Harvard Business Review article titled "Making Yourself Indispensable," John Zenga and colleagues argue that to move from good to great, irrespective of your sphere of practice, one has to embrace the concept of cross-training. When you walk into a swimming pool and meet a marathoner making laps in the pool, he's not trying to change careers. He or she knows that swimming gives them a better technique at breath holding, exercises a certain core muscle, and those skills learned from the swimming pool could be pivotal in pushing that marathoner from being a mere gold medal holder to a world record breaker. And what we see today, the example set by Dr. Mburugu, Dr. Simba, in getting all these 9 other colleagues and producing a book for us, is testimony to the culture of developing faculty and students who are all-rounded, and that is a huge congratulations to the Vice Chancellor and the entire team at JKUAT. I commend you, and I pray that that culture keeps growing. As we launch this book today, as we congratulate the authors, we are reminded of the words of the French philosopher Frantz Fanon, who said, "Each generation in relative obscurity must discover its mission, then betray it or fulfill it." These authors have challenged us to pick our mission, and then it is upon us either to betray it or fulfill it. Congratulations to all of you, and a good afternoon. Thank you, and back to you, MC.
Yes, that was Dr. Stanley Aruyaru, who is the author of the Chronicles of a Village Surgeon. He's a consultant, general and laparoscopic surgeon, and he's also an editor of the Annals of African Surgery. So that is why you heard he had a